Good afternoon and welcome to my presentation. The title of my presentation is Renewable Energy Sources in Ghana. The contents of my presentation is segmented into 4 parts: introduction, problem statement, solution, discussions, and then conclusion. Taller than, okay. Okay, so the introduction of my presentation is an overview of the energy sector or the power sector in Ghana. And here, Ministry of Energy is responsible for regulating the sector. Just as in the case of every power sector, there are 3 main bodies, that is a generation unit, transmission unit, distribution unit. Now, the generation unit is made up of the generating power stations, and in my country we have 3 main power stations, that is the thermal, hydro, and then solar. The transmission unit or sector is made up of 2 companies, that's Volta River Authority and Gridco, Ghana Grid Company. They are responsible for transmitting the generated power to the distribution lines. And then at the distribution level, we have NEDCO, that is the Northern Electricity Development Company, and ECG, that is Electricity Company of Ghana. As at 1999, the power generation mix of Ghana was mainly hydro, made up of 2 power stations, that is the Akosombo and then Pong. Akosombo had the capacity of 1,000 megawatts, whilst Pong had 200 megawatts. So as at 2019, the power generation mix has changed. There are 2 new variants, that is the thermal and then the solar. Thermal is responsible for providing 30% of the needed power, while solar provides just about 5% of it. Hydro, which used to provide 100% of the power, now provides only 70% of the power. Part 2 of my presentation is a problem statement. Now, introduction of the thermal unit has its own, has advantages and disadvantages. It is able to provide the power that we need, but the disadvantages when compared to hydro, which is a renewable energy, the disadvantage outweighs the advantages. And some of the disadvantages are their carbon emission. Compared to renewable energy source, the power is very expensive. Because the fuel used is crude oil and we use international currency to buy, exchange rates affect them. There's unstable pricing because of exchange rates, power fluctuations when there's no fuel, geopolitical issues, and all the above problems affect, that is, they don't help in socio-economic development. So what are the solutions? The solution here is to identify renewable energy sources. Identify renewable energy sources. We need to make capital investment. There should be government policies to drive renewable energy application. We should intensify research of renewable energy sources. And then once all this have been done, there should be efficient harvesting of renewable energy sources. During my research, I came across 4 main renewable energy sources in my country, and these are hydro, solar, wind, and power. Hydro have already been used in large quantities before. As at 1999, hydro was providing more than 1,500 megawatts of power to the country. Aside the huge hydro dams that we have, there are mini rivers or lakes which can provide more than 973 megawatts of power. And this can be achieved by investment, by research, and so on. Some of the rivers that I looked into, during my research, I found out we have the Black Volta, where a total of more than 200 megawatts of power can be provided. White Volta, about 150. The Oti River can provide 90. And so with all this power, the annual energy that can be provided is 3,681 gigawatts of energy. This map shows the solar radiation map of Ghana. As we can see from this map, the northern sector of Ghana has very high potential of providing solar energy, that is solar-related power. Already we have 2.5 megawatts Navrongo solar power station. And this is very small compared to the land mass that we have and the capacity of that region to provide solar energy. And this map also shows the wind map of Ghana. In the southern sector, that is the part that shares boundary with Togo, we can see from there that this region also has the potential to provide a lot of energy by the use of wind, that is using wind farms. And during my research also, along the coastline of Ghana, selected regions were installed with wind measuring devices, and some of the results that I got are here. And from my results, Pute has the highest wind speed, followed by Lolonyo, which is 5.4. And with all this, these are measured values. The predicted wind speed, the measured values were taken at 12 meters. That is 12 meters per second. That is the speed that was gotten. But the predicted wind speed at 50 meters height for Pute is 7.15, and then for Lolonya is 7.15, and then for Lolonya is 7.18. This result shows that wind energy also has the potential to provide a lot of the needed electric power that we want. Tidal energy. Tidal waves are caused by gravitational force which exists between the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon. This force is responsible for the rise and fall of sea/ocean waters, thereby producing tidal waves. Tidal power, also called tidal energy, is a form of hydropower that converts the energy of the tides into useful form. Ghana has a total coastline of 539 kilometers. And there's a company known as TC Energy, which is researching into the possibility of harvesting tidal energy. And some of the installed measuring devices are shown in this picture here. So far, the research has been done for over 2 years now. And the results from the research shows that commercialization of tidal energy is also possible. Discussions, and then the next will be conclusion. So, before I go on to the discussion, from the problem statement that we have, before the introduction of the thermal energy, hydro was responsible for providing all the needed energy. But with the introduction of thermal energy, some problems have been encountered, such as high cost. When we compare the price of electric power in Ghana to its neighboring countries, the price is very high. So how do we overcome all these limitations? So my research shows that there's availability of renewable energy sources in commercial quantities. That is hydro, that is solar, that is tidal, and then that is wind. All that is needed is proper investment, research, government policy, directions to harvest or to harness the full potential of renewable energy. Renewable energy will be it's also possible to provide electric power to communities which are far away from the grid or utility. Cost of electric power will be reduced. This will lead to socio-economic development. And then finally, investigation of wind and tidal power is very crucial because these two sources of renewable energy have not been utilized in commercial quantities. Thank you for listening.